Donald Trump is trying to hurt everybody. Just everybody. And by everybody, I mean, of course, trans people. And because, well, there was supposed to be a joke in here about how my girlfriend is Saki and she's my world and she's everything to me. And you kind of figure out where this is going, and they're trying to take guns from trans people. So, I don't know, you put two and two together. I am too tired to make this particular joke. I wanted it to be something neato and sweet, but instead I'm just kind of fumbling over my words. So instead, here's fan art so we can stop thinking about me fumbling over my own words. Pacifrisk says, it exists now. Surg exists now, and I'm not taking it back. It sort of just stands there and seems to appear out of nowhere and leaves by shattering the glass in the YouTube video 4K glass breaking video elements pack by VFX Guru. I have no other way to explain the last part. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. As always, thank you for your fan art submissions, y'all. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. That said, let's take a look at what we have going on right now. Trump has a proposal to ban trans people from owning guns. Okay, so let's take a read here. Senior officials in President Donald Trump's administration have reportedly considered proposals to restrict trans Americans from owning firearms. Justice Department officials have discussed restricting the sales of guns to transgender people in the wake of the Minneapolis Catholic shooting, after the suspect was said to be transgender, according to anonymous sources who spoke with CNN and WAPO. So let me get this straight. A white person shoots up a school and nobody blinks an eye. We get thoughts and prayers. A possibly trans person does it, and suddenly we need to be restricting the firearms for all trans people everywhere. This is stupid. This makes no sense. I don't give a flying shit which side of the gun argument you're on. None of that makes any sense. The reports have sparked backlash online, with one Democratic congressional candidate in Illinois calling for the potential move saying that the move is an overtly discriminatory civil rights violation. Newsweek has contacted the Department of Justice's National Rifle Association and Advocates for Trans Equality for comment via email. So here's the context. A shooting at a Catholic school in Minnesota on August 27th left 2 children dead and at least 17 people injured, and court records showed that the shooting suspect has applied for a name change because of their gender identity. Robin Westman, who's 23, was granted a name change in 2020 when she was a minor, according to Dakota County District Court records. The order said the name change was in the best interest of the child because the minor child identifies as female and wants her name to reflect that on ID. According to police, the shooter died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. The reported restrictions would be in keeping with other Trump administration policies. Since taking office in January, Trump has issued executive orders targeting the rights of transgender Americans, banning them from serving in the military and prohibiting transgender women from competing in women's sports. One source said the Justice Department's official legal counsel and Office of the Attorney General were considering whether being transgender was a mental illness that could disqualify someone from possessing a firearm under current firearm regulations. Well, last I checked, being trans is not considered a mental illness as it does not show up in the DSM-5. So, what are we to take from this? Well, if you are an administration who is trying to get more dictatorial control over a country, and you have a minority group that you are trying to oppress in the country, and you are trying to restrict guns from the minority group in that country, man, math is hard, but I think I can put 2 and 2 together to figure out what the fuck is going on here, and it looks like... Godwin's law is going to come into play here, but it just kind of sort of looks like Nazi Germany. Just a little bit like Nazi Germany. It just smells kind of like bratwurst is all I'm fucking saying. Necrochild says, unfortunately, the majority of transphobes want to believe it's a mental illness. Well, they can believe that, but fucking transphobia is a mental illness by their definition. I don't give a fuck. They can believe whatever they want to believe. I don't have to convince them of shit. Let's see here. Trace James says, Editor-in-Chief Alex Marlowe said, so test the Democrats with that. Let's bring it up. Let's see what they say, because we don't let everyone with mental illnesses get guns. So let's add that to the group and let's see what they say, because they're in between a rock and a hard place. They can say, no, we want the trans to be able to get assault rifles. And so then it shows that they really are cool with people having assault rifles. Neato. Again, the party line shit on guns is frustrating. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not. I'll advocate for Democrats to have power because I'd rather Democrats have power than Republicans. But I do not want Democrats specifically having power. I don't. I'm further left than the Democratic Party. And there is a rule with guns in general among people who do anything involving politics. The further left you go, the more of your guns you get back. Weird. I also feel like if you live in a country where there is a group of people who are legally allowed to execute you without you being able to say anything, you should be allowed to fight back. I'm sorry. So let's see here. Kat, the Democrat running for office in Illinois, said this is an overtly discriminatory civil rights violation. Trans people have the same legal rights as other Americans. End of story. There are lots of good reasons to keep certain people from owning guns, but being trans isn't one of them. Krasenstein, at least that's easier. Krasenstein, a long-time critic of Trump with 1 million followers on Twitter, says Trump's DOJ is reportedly considering trans people from buying guns. Where are all of the Second Amendment people now? Does it really only apply to some people? Jane Fleming Klebe, the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, said, so Republicans don't care about the Second Amendment. They're totally fine with folks that have domestic abuse and severe mental illnesses to have guns, but folks who are transgender, that's a hard line for them. The issue drew ire from Second Amendment advocates, with former Republican and veteran John Jackson writing, Trump's consideration to ban or to prevent trans people from owning guns is illegal and outrageous. It has dark historical parallels. It is totalitarian oppression unmasked. Whoo! Hey, look, it's those words I said. Weird. Trace James says the NRA said yesterday morning the NRA supports the Second Amendment rights of all law-abiding Americans to purchase, possess, and use firearms. They do not and will not support any policy that implements sweeping gun bans that arbitrarily strip law-abiding citizens of their Second Amendment rights without due process. Neato. That's cool. Broken clocks. Let's see here. Said, we in the Second Amendment community must stand in solidarity with the transgender community as one. Hell yeah. We need more hot trans girls with fucking AKs. That is my stance. I'm going to run for office, and that is a stance I'm going to be running on, considering that I'm not... God, I just do not think that I'm actually going to be running for that councilman position. I just really don't think that there's anything I can do there that's worth anything other than being a warm body in a seat. Jesus Christ. Bohemian Lucy says, what, the NRA is right about something? Time to buy a lottery ticket. Okay, but see, that logic is flawed. You don't buy a lottery ticket after the unlikely thing has already happened. That luck was already used up on the unlikely thing. Anyway, a spokesperson for the Justice Department. What? Why can't I speak? Justice Department said in a statement per ABC News that the DOJ is actively evaluating options to prevent the pattern of violence we've seen from individuals with specific mental health challenges and substance abuse disorders. No criminal justice proposals have been advanced at this time. The federal government has not confirmed whether it plans to pursue firearms restrictions for transgender people. That's right, everybody. The federal government has not confirmed it. It's just Donald J. Trump. It's just Dear Leader. It's just Dear Leader. That's all. It's just him. He's the one who wants it. He's the one that wants it to happen. That's it. It's all Trump. It's all Trump. So that's what's going on there, and that's just saddening. It's freaky as hell. It's really, really weird seeing the historical parallels of a dear leader, democratically elected by everyone in the United States collectively, you know, ignoring everybody who didn't fucking vote for him. But dear leader, supreme God emperor, telling us that there is one group of people that are bad and horrible and ought to be treated differently, as if they are second-class citizens. from the rest of the people in the United States. And one of the ways you make somebody a second-class citizen in the United States is you remove their ability to buy firearms. It's just really weird hearing him say so many bad things about trans people in the trans community, all while probably jerking it to them, and then saying that they need to lose their firearms. Sawara says, technically speaking, Hitler was appointed chancellor. He was democratically elected to the seat he had, but he was appointed. That's cool. Anyway, it's Bohemian Lucy says, it's like Trump is trying to desperately distract us from something. I mean, yes, obviously there is an angle of this, which is Trump trying to once again distract us from the Epstein file thing, but I don't think everything is an attempt to distract us from the Epstein file thing. Think of it this way. One of the criticisms that has been aimed at Republicans for the longest time is their inability to do anything in regards to mass shootings, in regards to school shootings, in regards to any of this. And while many people in the United States will speak out about different regulations that they think should happen in regards to trans people or in regards to guns, I don't think there's that many people who actually want trans people losing access to guns. But if Trump, being the person in the admin who's seeing the history of Republicans doing jack all nothing in regards to gun violence, goes, oh, well, I can be the one who does something about it. But the way he does something about it is by restricting the rights of trans people, which makes sense from the fascist playbook, because if you're a fascist and you have a group of people you are trying to oppress because it is easier to unite a nation under a common enemy, especially if that common enemy is within, then it makes sense to try to just kill those two birds with one stone. I don't know if this is necessarily one of the attempts to distract from the Epstein files. This looks like a common A to B thing. Shooting happens, shooter is said to be trans in several news outlets, Trump responds to it going, oh, this threads the needle between two things. People say the Republicans don't do anything about gun violence, I'm going to do something about gun violence. People say that trans people are bad, and I've been saying it too. I know how to thread these two things together. Yeah, you're right, Sawara. It's opportunism. It's opportunism. That is exactly what it is. Trump is an opportunist. He 100% is. It's what makes him a... I hate saying this because I don't want to glaze the guy because he's a piece of fucking shit, but it's what makes him a shrewd businessman. Because he is. He undoubtedly is, because he's made a ton of money. Now, bear in mind, I am not saying he's an honest businessman. I'm not even saying that he's good at running an honest business. I think he runs dishonest businesses because it makes him far more money to do so. And this is in line with how he's operated in all of those. Seizes an opportunity when he has the chance to try to profit him as best he can. Remember, this is a guy who was worth $2 billion once upon a time and is now worth several billion more than that. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens by being shrewd. Though, you know, I'm not using that as a compliment. I'm calling the guy a fucking weasel. That's what I'm doing. Sawara says he's not really able to run honest businesses. No, he's not. He's fucking Red from Animal Crossing, but without the charisma. Professor Tessa says, first they came for the socialists, and I said nothing because I was not a socialist. Yep, now we're there. Now we're there. But, you know, I prefer the version of that from the Knuckles comics. I'm kidding. No, I don't. I really don't. Bohemian Lucy says, wasn't this the second or third time they've tried to claim a shooter was trans? It just happens. Bohemian says he's bankrupted several businesses. Yes, but he himself has gotten rich from it. That's the thing. He's not able to run an honest business. So he does the thing that... Go watch The Producers. Every one of you who does not understand what rug pulley scam Trump is trying to do and has been doing with his businesses, please go watch The Producers. 1, good fucking movie. Good fucking movie. 2, you'll figure out the parallels pretty quick. But I do want to hear from all of y'all. I do want to know what you think about this proposal. And I'm totally not gonna hide the comments from the people who are in favor of this proposal, who obviously just want trans people to burn. I can't promise I'm not gonna just take immense joy in just having fun with the banhammer. I'm not promising anything. But I am going to have fun when I'm pooping after that video comes out. I can assure you that. Anyway, thank you for your time. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Limor Pinku, Love Bunny Games, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Aurora, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fire Shard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.